so focused. And then after we get off the flight line, I needed to recover. I needed to breathe, right? And I would actually notice that I would take a breath, and you only had maybe 5 or 10 seconds, but then that allowed you to go, okay, let's go again. So we were going in and out of these intense focus routines. The other thing I noticed is we burned up a ton of water. When I got out of the jet, I was so thirsty, Greg, I couldn't believe it. So just 2 points. Tell me what's going on.
So that's perfect, because ultimately what you're doing in those situations, super high intensity, precision, absolute focus, execution. And then as soon as that move is done, you have a little breath where you can reset. You can allow blood to get back to the brain. You can allow the focus to widen just a touch. You can consider what's happening around you. You are cycling between beta brainwave mode and alpha brainwave mode. And the really cool analogy on that one is when I was out on safari in Africa a couple of years ago after my friend's wedding, and we were hiking. So not in a car, we were walking safari, which was pretty incredible. And we went through some bushes, and we came out the other side, and I looked to my left and there was a rhino there.
Nice.
And yeah, it was super incredible, except that you're walking and there's a rhino there, right? Like it's
how close? How close is this?
Like 20 yards.
And how big is this rhino? How many 1,000 pounds?
It's got to be 2 tons. Like it's a massive animal. It's huge. It was the size of like a pickup truck. It's a massive animal. And it looks at me, and I look at the rhino, and the ears point at me, and I'm staring at the horn point, and it's facing me. And my guide is just frozen. The two of us are just frozen. He's got the tiniest gun I've ever seen in my life. It's like useless. So we just sort of sit there, and I managed to get one picture. I just put out my camera and I just pointed it, and I took a picture, and it went click and echoed all through the environment. My guide was like, "What are you doing?" Anyways, so we eventually moved ourselves out and away from it. When I got back and I was flipping through my shots, I looked at the picture and I was like, holy, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this podcast or not, but I was like, holy shit, I didn't even see the second rhino. Wow. And in the bottom right-hand side of the image, I could see the curved back of the second rhino in the bushes just off to my right. Must have been 10 yards away. Wow. And so the challenge is, I think, is that when we're in focused execution mode, you're coming at someone else 1,000 miles an hour, or I'm face to face with a rhino in the bush, or you're reading a COVID-19 headline, like whatever it happens to be that's coming at you that you consider to be a threat. That gathers all of your attention, which is fine because you need to survive. You need to execute. You need to do what you need to do in response to that particular challenge. The problem with it is that it wipes out all of our peripheral vision and our peripheral thinking. And I believe in order for us to be successful in our world right now, we need to be able to think peripherally, right? Like when you come out of that maneuver and you've got 5 seconds to breathe, you've got to be, all right, is everything cool? Where am I setting up? What's the next thing that I need to be doing? Am I prepared? Yes, I am. Okay, back into the game.
Yeah. And
so I think that it's incumbent upon us to give ourselves permission to take those breaths, to take those moments, to drink the water, as you said, or eat the good food, or do the meditation, or go for a walk, or have the dinner with your phone turned off, or whatever it happens to be, just to take those breaths in our world to expand our brain's ability to cope with this very, very interesting world that we're all in, that's so hyper-connected, so involved in technology, and so fast-paced that, it's become really challenging for a lot of people.